Life can get boring sometimes. Get up, go to work, talk to your bosses, deal with so many people, go back home, make dinner and sleep, rinse and repeat. Yup, it can get really boring and stressful at times. In my opinion, the only place where you can get some sort of enjoyment is the journey. That's why you shouldn't drive a boring car. Get something which is very versatile and is fun to drive. And I have just the thing. This is the BMW 330 Li M-Sport, and in my opinion, this is all the car that you will ever need. Welcome back to the Driver's Hub and welcome to an episode of UpShift. My name is Soham Saraf and this is the 330 Li. Now, since this is the 330 Li LCI and we had gotten the pre-LCI 330 Li almost a year ago, I decided to stop and check out what the differences are and what makes the 330 Li LCI different to the pre-LCI. Let's quickly talk about the changes BMW has done to the LCI model compared to the older car. Now you get a brand new set of bumpers all around, and the M-Sport package is now standard in India. So these M-Sport bumpers you get standard even with the 320 LD, and very aggressive looking bumpers, the same set of bumpers that you get on the M340i LCI. The headlights have also changed. Now the DRLs are kind of inverted if you compare it to the older car. But one thing BMW has removed is the laser light technology. The older car, when you used to lock it, the headlights used to glow blue. That doesn't happen anymore because that technology isn't there, but the headlights themselves are completely fine. You have great visibility at night. The car is now long wheelbase standard in India. So you can't buy the shorter wheelbase car unless and until you're buying the M340i. One thing that I don't like about the exterior are the wheels that are on this car. Now you can get a different set of wheels, of course you have to pay extra for it. So I would definitely suggest that because these, well, not my favorite design. Overall, I think so the new LCI models look really nice. Probably I'll do some tweaks here and there in my opinion. For example, the diffuser at the end is colored, which is not my favorite. I would definitely paint it black to make it look even more aggressive. But overall, I think so it's a fantastic looking car. Let's head over to the interior. The biggest update that the LCI model has gotten is inside the interior, namely this massive curved display over here. It is absolutely massive. It has amazing graphics, amazing animations, and it's super smooth to use. Now, the infotainment screen is gigantic. The controls are super easy, and one thing that I really like is that BMW has kept the scroller wheel, all of these shortcuts over here, which makes it super easy to use while on the move. And even compared to the new C-Classes screen, I think so this screen is much better, it's more crisp and definitely easier to use. Apart from that, you also get a really nice looking instrument cluster. This being the M-Sport variant, you get the M-style steering wheel as well, with your cruise control buttons on the left and your media controls on the right with paddles as well. One thing that I don't really like is that BMW has ditched the gear selector, the nice gear selector that was over here, and now they've just put in this little switch button kind of thing. Apart from that, the 330 Li gets some really cool features. In Park Assistant, you have reversing assistant, park assist, a really nice camera with 360-degree sensors all around. I really like this finish over here on the center console. And with the G23 series, the build quality of this car has also gone up. The F chassis cars used to make a lot of rattles and squeaks when you were driving it, and especially when the car used to get a slightly older, but I think so they've solved that problem with the G chassis 3 series. I really like this place. Powering the 330 Li M-Sport is the B48 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Now this engine can be found in various different BMWs and Mini Coopers as well, and this engine, well, it's a okay engine, nothing really to talk about, especially when you know that you can get the B58, which is the engine that you find in the M340i. Now, I wish that BMW would have gotten the B58 in rear wheel drive format over here in India. There is only one way you can get that, is by buying the 840i Grand Coupe. And that's, I guess, like a 2 crore rupee car. But the B48 is a nice little engine. You get 255 HP, 400 Newton meters of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed ZF gearbox, and it's a pretty punchy engine for what it is. You don't feel that this engine is underpowered, whereas if you buy the 530i, it felt a little underpowered, a little laggy, a little slow. But in this, it's completely fine. It feels pretty energetic whenever you put your foot down. Since this is the driver's hub, we have to talk about tuning and the potential of this engine. Well, the B48 isn't the most tuner-friendly engine, and especially ever since the LCI models have come out, it's very difficult to tune these things because the ECU comes locked. There is only one company that can unlock them, and that is Femto Evo. And to unlock your ECU, you have to spend 1.5 lakhs for it. And even after that, if you spend some money on this car, I think so reliably you can only push out, let's say, 350 HP, that too on a good day. So I think so it's best kept stock, the B48 engine. So yeah, it's a pretty decent engine. Good fuel economy as well. So the 330 Li, in my opinion, is the best driving car in its segment. And that has a lot of advantages because a lot of people like to split their cars. Like they have a daily, then they have their weekend car, or they have a luxury car and then they have their performance car. But if you have a 330 Li, I don't think you have to buy multiple cars because that's an added expense. Instead, buy a 330 Li and be happy with your life because this car can do almost anything that you want it to do. It is super fun to drive and it's still a BMW. So the chassis, the engine and everything that is there, it is very, very fun to drive. The gearbox is a little sloppy even in sport, but I'm not complaining because this is not a proper performance car by BMW, yet it is one of the most fun cars to drive in its segment. And it's just so tight, so sharp compared to all of its other competitors. And this B48 2-liter engine packs 255 HP and 400 Newton meters of torque, which is more than enough for our Indian roads. And once you step on it, it's a pretty alright, a pretty punchy engine. And as you can see, all this while, this big white smile on my face hasn't gone. And that means that I'm having a lot of fun hustling through the corners with this massive car. And massive because it has 110 mm of extra wheelbase length. And having this longer wheelbase has its advantages and disadvantages. It's a lot more stable when it comes to high-speed stuff. It's less likely for it to kick its tail out, which is also a downside if you look at it. But of course, the turn-in, the agility of the car has gone slightly down, but that's completely fine because, I'm still having a lot of fun driving this car. Now, one thing that is there is that the suspension is very soft, very supple, which is good because it's a luxury car. But when it comes to hitting the limits of this car, that's a little bit of a downside because in the corners it has quite a lot of body roll. But that's no problem because that means that I can at least feel what's going on and it's just not throwing me around here and there. And the best part is it's that even in a car like this, a normal BMW, a normal one, this thing, it's just so much fun to drive. It's so sharp, so easy, and it just eggs you on to drive it hard. And I wouldn't have this feeling in a Mercedes or an Audi or anything of that sort. This happens only in a BMW. I just want to keep driving this car because it's so communicative, it's so much fun to drive. And even if it's a 2-liter, it's pretty rapid. It does 0 to 100 in roughly 6.2 seconds, which is pretty alright. And Yeah, this is a lot of fun, a lot of fun. And once you're done with your Sunday fun and you have to go back to work on a Monday, well, the 330 Li is an amazing place to be. Put your chauffeur in the driver's seat and you can relax over here in the back. The 330 Li gets 110 mm of extra wheelbase length over here in the back that gives you tons of leg room. You also have this armrest over here in the middle to rest your hand. You get 2 cup holders and some storage space for your phone, wallet, whatever. And the thing is, the 330 Li comes standard with the long wheelbase version in India. That makes it even more longer than the 2024 Mercedes C-Class that you can get. And since it being the long wheelbase version, you of course get more room over here in the back compared to that car as well, almost 100 mm more. And the thing is, the C-Class is actually 8 lakh rupees more than this particular car. That's quite a big jump. And I have nothing to complain about here in the back. You have this really beautiful armrest. You have these amazing Harman Kardon speakers which give you an amazing musical experience. You have your climate control buttons over here, as well as 2 Type-C charging ports. You have this lovely cushion over here which is very relaxing, and the soft suspension that I was telling you about while driving this car, well, that pays off when you want to relax over here and your chauffeur is driving. This is a very nice experience over here in the back. The 330 Li is that type of car that literally almost ticks every box. It's fun to drive. When you're in a canyon setting like this, you know, it's still a BMW. The chassis, the way it drives, the turn-in, the acceleration out of corners, even though this is the B48 2-liter car. I mean, it's a really fun car to drive even in 330 Li spec with the longer wheelbase. Talking about the longer wheelbase, again, tons of room in the back, super luxurious. It has all of the latest and greatest tech, and it has a lot of gimmicks also which can impress your friends. Stuff like the reversing assistant, stuff like the massive iDrive 8 screen, and a lot of other things. And also it's bougie enough that when you pull up to an important client meeting or a really fancy hotel, this thing does not look out of place. So in my opinion, the only change that I would do if I was BMW was get the 340i rear wheel drive car to India, because I'm a petrol head, I'm an enthusiast, so of course the 3-liter inline 6 turbo car would be a much better option, especially in rear wheel drive trim. But I'm not complaining. For us Indians, these sort of roads, this B48 2-liter car is just fine. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of the 330 Li M-Sport. Would you choose this car over the new C-Class and the new A4 or even the Jag XC? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.